Hello, Mr. Brugler. I'm Danny.
Hi, nice to meet you, Danny.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in. Mr. Cavalieri, or Mr. Cavalieri, Dr. Cavalieri sent you in.
Okay.
What did he send you in to talk about today, man?
He diagnosed me with diabetes number 2,
Okay.
like 6 months ago, and he told me this past week that I haven't been able to keep it under control quite yet.
Okay. And so you just got diagnosed with diabetes like 6 months ago.
Yeah, it was back in like October-ish or
Okay.
September or something like that.
Did he tell you anything about diabetes at all then?
Something about like my blood sugar and insulin and I think the pancreas is involved in there. Something along those
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely on the right track. Do you know of anything, or do you have any ideas about what you'd like to do to manage your diabetes right now?
To be honest with you, I'm kind of clueless.
Okay, that's okay. Do you mind if I offer some suggestions or talk about some things that a lot of other people do to manage their diabetes?
Sure, I guess it couldn't hurt.
Okay. Well, so there's a lot of things that go into managing diabetes type 2. Some of them include medication management. So I don't know if you're taking any medication right now. Also exercise, eating healthy, so managing your diet, and then the amount of alcohol that you consume.
Okay.
So I don't know if I don't know what all of those look like, but do any of those interest you in kind of working on for the next 1 to 2 weeks?
I don't know. Those all sound like pretty big commitments right now.
Yeah. Well, this is we're not talking anything huge.
Okay.
This is just something that you can work on for the next 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay.
And do any of those areas sound like that'd be something you'd be willing to work on?
I think out of the 4, I think the medication would be the easiest. I'm gonna have to change, I guess, my lifestyle too much. I don't think. But.
Okay. So can I ask what medication for diabetes Dr. Cavalieri has prescribed you?
Insulin.
Okay.
He asked me to take it. What was it? I think it was 30 minutes before every meal.
Okay, so he wants you to take insulin. Do you supposed to take it any specific place?
Yeah, he said I can stick it in my stomach or I think behind the fatty parts of my
arm. So you're just supposed to inject it 30 minutes before you eat a meal.
Yeah, okay. I think that's what he said.
And you on anything else? Some people are prescribed, lots of different medicines for it.
From what I remember, I think he said if I keep up the way I'm going, we might have to turn to that alternative. But it sounds like right now, hopefully the insulin will control it. So
okay. Can I ask about the way you've been using your insulin these past 6 months?
I've really just been using it when I remember it.
Okay.
And I don't remember it too often.
Okay. So I think that this is something that we could work on together. Let's see. So you're on an insulin regimen. You're supposed to take it 30 minutes before every meal. You haven't been really doing it regularly. About let's say how about for your 3 meals of the day, on an average day, how many times do you remember to take it? Or is that not a broad enough time? You want to do over a course of the week?
No, I'd say I use it probably. I usually remember for dinner.
You normally just remember for dinner?
Yeah, I'm not a big breakfast fan, so I kind of. What if I do eat breakfast? I just eat a granola bar. So I just really don't think it's worth giving myself a shot to eat a granola bar. But,
okay.
And then lunch, I'm at work and I'm kind of get a little embarrassed about bringing the insulin with me to work, and it just isn't that fun. So dinner is probably about the only time I've really been using it.
You said you have lunch at work.
Yeah.
Is that at a consistent time?
Yeah, I'd say usually between 12 and 1. So.
No one between 12 and 1. And are you able to step away for a moment, or go to the bathroom, or something like that?
Yeah, I guess I would be able to.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand what it looks like. Yeah. And then about breakfast, you said you're not normally a breakfast person.
Yeah,
sometimes it's just granola bar.
And coffee, maybe.
Granola bar and coffee. Okay. And then how long does it how long do you eat breakfast after you wake up and go to work?
I'm usually at work like by 7, so I usually eat breakfast and coffee in the car on the way there. So,
okay, so they're so how long does it take for you to get ready?
I mean, I get up about 6 and out the door by about 6:30 or so, and at work by 7. So.
Okay. So, is it okay if I talk about like some things that you could do to try for the next 1 to 2 weeks?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm just thinking out loud here. You tell me what sounds good and what doesn't sound good. Okay.
Okay.
How would you feel about picking a meal? So you said you consistently remember for dinner. Okay. For the most part, is that true?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Would you rather take on using your insulin for lunch or for breakfast?
I'd say breakfast.
You'd say you'd rather do insulin in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Do you have any ideas about what is a good way to remind you to do that?
Not really. I'm pretty forgetful about the little things like that.
Okay.
So.
Do you set an alarm every day?
Yeah, in the mornings to wake up.
Can you tell, is it consistent every day?
Yeah, I mean, I work, Monday through Friday, 7 to 5, just like everybody else in this world.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So, I think that you said you'd rather work on breakfast and lunch, so let's just focus on breakfast. We'll not bite off too much, What if some people, some people find keeping a diary, right? Logging when they took their insulin, and also measuring their blood sugar. I don't know if you have to do that. I don't know if Dr. Cavalieri recommended that. But you could write down, if you took your insulin shot that day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or just breakfast and dinner.
Yeah.
What does that sound like when you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I could do that. Is there something on your phone or something that I could use, or
like an app?
Yeah. I mean,
well, what kind of phone do you have?
I've got an iPhone, Apple.
Okay, you got an iPhone. Are you able to set more than one alarm?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So something you could do is you could set 2 alarms. Like if you wake up at 6, every day, you could set one for 6. And if you get up, if you're someone that actually gets up, like I don't get up.
Yeah.
It takes me a while to get up. You could set it for 6 and then 6:05, and that would be like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to take my insulin right now. And then so that could be something you do. Set 2 alarms, or you could. Some people have calendars on their phone. You could, just go into your calendar and mark, how many times you took insulin that day. That could be something. Or some people have notepads and they could just do it for, it's not like we're doing it for a month. We're just doing it for the next 1 to 2 weeks. Okay. So you could just mark it down on a notepad. Did I take my insulin? Breakfast, dinner, just dinner, not at all today.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about all of that?
I mean, I think I could handle that.
Okay. What number out of 7 days a week do you want to shoot for taking your insulin for breakfast out of? So 7 days a week, no days a week?
I'd say go for probably 5. I think I could get used to doing it before work every day. Probably.
Okay. So let me just summarize this for you. For me, actually, so that I understand. So for the next week to 2 weeks, you would, set your alarm, set another alarm, actually. So 2 alarms, one for 5 minutes later. And that would remind you to take your insulin. And you would chart it at the end of the day. Is that time okay for you?
Yeah.
Is there a better time?
That'll work.
Okay. And your goal kind of is to do 5 days out of 7 days. Okay. If you're just measuring a week, you want to get 5 days where you do both breakfast and dinner.
Okay.
So, do you think that is a goal that you could work towards.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's a little scary.
Yeah.
But I think it's something I could do.
Okay. So on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, the least, 10 being the highest, right, the most ever, how confident do you feel at reaching this goal in the next 1 to 2 weeks?
I mean, I'm not really good at change, so I'd say probably like maybe a 5 or probably about a 5.5.
Probably about a 5.5.
Out of 10. Yeah.
Okay. So can I ask why that's not a 2 or a 3? 5.5 is definitely above a 2 and a 3. So why is it not a 2 and a 3?
Well, I think you've definitely simplified it for me a little bit more, which is nice. But I don't know. Like I said, it's still just something. I'm a routine kind of person, and to break my routine just isn't. It's scary for me. So.
Okay, that's very understandable. Routines are hard things to break, but like those are kind of reasons why it's not like a 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Why did you pick 5 or 5.5 as opposed to 2 or 3?
I mean, I know it's something I can do.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why.
Okay. So I mean, to me, saying a 5, 5.5 says you're pretty motivated about it.
Yeah.
And you said it's something that you can do. So why is it not a 7 or an 8 outside of you don't really like changing routine?
Like I said before, I mean that's pretty much it. I'm just scared, It's all new. I thought over the last 6 months, obviously, like I was fine. I thought the doctor was full of crap and that I was healthy. I mean, and obviously, I mean, I think he kind of knocked some sense in me. Last week. So, but
so. Is there anything that we could change about this goal or this situation that would bring your confidence level from a 5, 5.5 up to a 7 or an 8?
No, not really. I think whatever plan we were to come up with, I think I would still feel about the same, just because of a change in routine. It's frightening. So.
Okay. Can I maybe share some things that other people have done in the past to kind of work with this situation?
Sure, why not?
Okay. But first, I kind of need to ask about your life a little bit more. So, is there some people rely on their like spouse or their roommates or kind of people in their life to check on them? Other people. Like I said, they use the daily log, but that's something that we're doing. But they kind of do it more on they're able to interact with their doctor on like my chart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And other people I haven't started so high at 5 and have dropped it down to maybe 3, then dropped it down to a different number. Do any of those suggestions stand out to you, or what do you think about any of those ideas?
I think the reliability is a good thing. I think my wife could definitely help motivate me a little bit more. So okay. I know she's pretty scared about it as well, as I'm sure you can imagine. So
okay.
I think maybe that on top of our maybe that and the alarm, maybe that'll work.
Okay. How would you like your wife to help? Because sometimes this can be, cause problems between people. So I think it's important for how you want her to help.
Yeah. I mean, she pretty much cooks dinner every night. So maybe she should, when she starts cooking, if it's about a half an hour before dinner, maybe if she could just remind me that I need to do my insulin and the dinner will be ready in about 30 minutes. I think that could work.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think breakfast will pretty much be on my own. So she's a stay-at-home mom, so she stays in and sleeps in a little longer than I do.
Okay.
So.
Is there some people in the past have used Post-it notes? Okay. So for example, some people eat the same thing for breakfast every day. Sounds like you have granola and coffee.
Yeah.
Some people have put Post-it notes on the counter or the cabinet where their granola and coffee are.
Okay.
You know, if she were to write you a post-it note there, what do you think about that idea?
I think that would work.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So we're going to keep the same goal of 5 times out of 7 times in a week that you do breakfast and dinner. Okay, because you said dinner was pretty good so far, and you just wanted to kind of work on breakfast, using your insulin. So 5 out of 7 times, you're gonna set an alarm, and you're gonna like make a note of it somehow, however is easier for you, on your phone at the end of the day. Okay. Plus, would you wanted your wife to write you a note there?
Sure, why not?
Okay, I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
Do it. Yeah.
Okay. How would you say your confidence level is from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, is about this goal for the next 1 to 2 weeks?
I think now that you bring my wife into it, I think we're a good team. I think it definitely put me more about I'd say like a 7 or 8 now.
Okay.
So I think that'll definitely bring it up from the 5.5 I said before.
Okay.
So.
Well, I think that sounds good to me.
Okay.
Because you seem pretty confident of it.
Yeah.
You are definitely motivated by your wife. She cares, and you care about her. You know, and you're also you were kind of shocked about that you hadn't had it managed before, and that this is important to you.
Yeah.
You know, so this is something that is important to you, managing your diabetes, though you do acknowledge that it is going to be difficult to change routine. Is it okay? Would it be helpful to you if we checked up? If we met?
Yeah, I think maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What do you have in mind for that?
Well, I was thinking in 2 weeks. I mean, it's Wednesday today. I don't know if Wednesday next week or in 2 weeks.
That should work.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, that should work.
Okay, so Wednesday at the same time.
Okay.
You can just come here. You don't have to meet with Dr. Cavalieri, and we can just kind of talk about how the goal went.
Okay.
How the 2 weeks went. Okay.
All right.
Well, Mr. Brugler, I just want to say thanks for talking to me about your diabetes.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right.